Hello everyone, I'm Teresa and today I'm going to talk to you about choosing and caring for your tarot deck. Welcome to the second video of the tarot series. Even though this particular video can easily be applied on an oracle deck or even a set of runes, I decided this was an important topic before really starting to dive into each card meaning, because choosing a deck is probably one of the major doubts among those starting to explore tarot. When I started to look into tarot, I had no clue that there were so many different decks, and I just assumed it was an easy choice to pick one because most decks I used to see for sale depicted angels or those sort of themes. I'm not fond of angel-themed decks at all, so I trusted that anything outside of that would be good for me. And then I realized that there are decks about every single theme you can think of food, dogs, cats, nature, plants, movies, light ones, darker ones. It's a whole world of decks and themes, both for tarot or oracle decks. So when one is just starting out, it can be really difficult to decide which one is the deck for me. Which deck is the correct one? Which deck is the most loyal, the most accurate? The answer is simple. Only you can know that. Because deep down, I believe that what flows into the readings, it's our personal energy or intuition or way of perceiving things. So don't let anyone tell you what the perfect deck is. Each one of us have different preferences and energies. A deck that resonates with me might not resonate with you. However, to start learning, my personal advice is to start with a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, or at least one based off this version with the same structure. At first, I tried to stay away from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith decks because I didn't feel connected with the images. I ended up buying a deck that was extremely hard to be intuitive with while learning, and that really demotivated me and made me give up at that time because I just assumed it wasn't for me. Then after really reading more about it and picking up a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, things drastically changed. Why, you may ask? Well, firstly, most books and articles you'll find to learn tarot will be based on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Secondly, this deck is relatively easy to read the imagery, the symbology, and the overall story presented on each card. And lastly, most decks sold nowadays are based on the Rider-Waite-Smith system, so it will be easier for a beginner that feels at ease working with it to move on to another deck. After learning to work with this deck, it will be easy to find another deck with a theme you'll feel comfortable with that uses the same system that you've already learned with the Rider-Waite-Smith. On my following videos of this series, I will be using the Rider-Waite-Smith system. So unfortunately, if you are using or prefer to use another system, my videos might not be very helpful to help you with your preference. Now that you have your new deck, let's talk about taking care of it and connecting with it. This part is really personal and what some might think of as too much or exaggeration, others might think of as not enough. It's not rocket science, okay? So there aren't correct answers or foolproof methods. You should only worry about your mindset and making it work for you. So once again, I'll tell you, it is a personal choice and you should do what feels right to you, not what someone else tells you to. I can only share my knowledge, my experience, and my opinions. And these are all things that shouldn't be imposed onto others. If someone imposes their ways onto you, turn your back and search somewhere else. Free will exists for a reason. Sharing points of view is one thing, Enforcing them, it's a whole nother thing. Let me highlight that a deck is your tool. It's a personal object. When you have an object that you are fond of, you keep it safe and you take extra care to make sure you don't ruin it. Some people have objects they hold sacred as a good luck charm, for example, and they do often have certain rituals to make this good luck work. With the decks, you basically do the same. When a deck first arrives to your hands, it doesn't have your energy yet. So there are a few ways to clean and connect with a new deck. Some people like to purify their decks by burning herbs. Sage is an herb often used to clean negative energies. Rosemary is often related to new starts, opening up new doors. Cedar is believed to boost good health and love while it dissipates the negative energies. Whatever herb you use, just make sure you research it first to make sure it isn't toxic to you or any pets you may have. You can also put the new deck in a closed box with crystals, for example, or just a single crystal on top. You can use black tourmaline or black tourmaline, I don't know how to pronounce it, because it absorbs negative energies. Amethysts are known to enhance spiritual senses, intuition, for example. All crystals have different uses, so if you want to use the crystal method, you should look into one that fits into your intentions. Some people just leave their decks by a window on a full moon's night to be baited by the moonlight and charged by the moon's peak energy because it's the full moon. There are several other methods and everyone has their own, so you can come up with whatever feels best to you. These are all mere suggestions. After this cleaning or purifying process, the deck is free from the previous energies. So now it's time to imprint your energy. What I like to do with a new deck, or with a deck I haven't used in a while, is for about a week or so to take a few minutes each day and shuffle the deck. Then with the cards right side up, I reorder them. I start with the tarot, I start by the major arcana, starting on the Fool all the way until the World, and then I put the suits into order, starting with the Ace until the Tens, and then the court cards, doing the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. What order you order the suits, it's entirely up to you, and this can also be done with oracle cards, providing they have a specific order, or if they are numbered, for example. Even if they don't have an order, you can come up with your own order of preference. I feel this is an important method because, for two reasons. It helps you to imprint your energy into each card, but more important than that, it also helps you to connect with the cards, to get familiar with the imagery and to study each and every card of the deck. Some people like to use meditation to bond with the new decks. Others keep their new deck near their bed or even inside their pillowcase for a few days. I move a lot while sleeping, so I won't even dare to try this one, as I would most certainly destroy the cards or wake up with a very bruised face. It wouldn't work. The important thing here, or what is wanted, is that the deck absorbs your energy, your vibration. At the end of the day, it all depends on what feels right to you. Whatever helps you get the right mindset. And finding out what works for you may take a few trial and errors, so don't be afraid to explore, to try, and to fail, okay? If you try a method and it doesn't feel quite right for you, or makes you feel off, disconnected, don't be bothered by it, just move on and try something different. That just means it isn't the right way for you specifically. As for storing your deck, again, there are several options. Starting by the original packaging, since some decks do have nice boxes. There are also cloth bags, drawstring bags, such as this one. See, some people, this is a really popular choice. Some people go to different cloth materials depending on their meaning or what their intention is. And you can easily find these bags selling online, so it's an easy and cheap option. However, these bags aren't usually very sturdy, so if you plan on traveling a lot with your deck, beware because some damage can occur if the bag isn't stored carefully inside the backpack or a purse or whatever you're keeping it. Boxes are a great option too, And like the fabric bags, you can choose a wooden box with a specific wood, for example. Apple wood has a feminine association and is used for healing and spiritual rituals. Willows are considered sacred trees, so their wood is often associated with sacred and healing rituals too. It's an excellent choice for divination and spiritual purposes. Oak tree wood is used for protection and healing and to empower your intuition. And I could go on forever, but I honestly am not that knowledgeable on trees and their powers. So if you want to store your deck in a wood box, research the type of wood and how it will affect your deck. Or honestly, just choose one that seems pretty to you and is within your current budget. Don't go overboard with meanings, powers, and ancient sayings. You can even wrap your deck with your grandmother's old scarf if it has a special meaning to you. Go with your current energy and financial possibilities. Some people like to keep their decks on places they hold sacred, such as an altar or a bookshelf with spiritual books. Others just keep them among personal objects, charged with memories. When you have more than one deck, because it is something you easily find yourself wanting to buy more of, it can be hard to store them all on special places. So personally, I keep my decks with my books. And the deck that I am currently using most at the moment, I keep with the books that I'm currently reading, on top of a little cabinet where I store my photographic material. This way I keep it close to my current mindset by the books that I'm reading and that influence me. It's close to plants because I have a couple of plants on top of this cabinet too. And it's close to my most precious possessions that are my camera gear. In the end, how you purify, how you clean, how you store your deck isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is how you connect with your deck, and this isn't meant to be a superstitious, spirit-guided, supernatural thing. Far from that. What I mean by connecting with your deck, it's opening up your mindset, opening up your heart, and be receptive to the message that tarot can convey. We can't expand our mind if we close ourselves to exterior realities. So be mindful with your deck, and your readings will be done in a mindful way. This is all for this video. I hope it was helpful to you and that you have enjoyed my insight into these themes. As always, my social media links are down below, where you can follow my life's journey and especially my cats and nature adventures. You can also find the link to support me by offering me a coffee on Ko-Fi. I will see you on the next video. Bye!